Hello and welcome to my documentary series on the unsuitable sports and women. Here is Preston Ladies, who were the first established women's football team.
I'm quite amazed actually at how quickly it's gone, especially from when I was younger. The amount of people that come down watching. Obviously the TV audiences, I've been watching women's football on the BBC and some of the audiences were like 11 million or something. I was actually amazed. I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised at how quickly it's gone to that big.
You get some good fitness from it at least as well.
I think it's brilliant for everyone involved. I think it's definitely sort of going in the right direction. I think the inspiration for girls up and down the country, alongside all other women's sports, I think it's the right time, and I think it's brilliant for all involved, men and women, to be involved with women's football. It provides more opportunities, just coach, playing, obviously officiating, which I think is brilliant for the game as a whole, not just sort of men's or women's side. Yeah, I think it's great. It's great to see.
There is an argument that women's football isn't as physical as the men's, but here at Preston Ladies, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Referees say that our games can be worse than men's for that. I don't think we don't have as much strength necessarily as the men's, but I think comparable to each other, certainly challenges flying left and right. So yeah, I'd say it's just as physical.
Women put everything into the tackles, everything into the game, exactly the same as the men's do. They work the socks off, and you can't really differentiate between the two. I know people were on about reducing the size of the goals and things like that. I think I don't necessarily agree with that. I think women and men should play the same standard of football. Yeah, like I say, it's always good to have a bit of history behind the club, bit of something for the girls to work to, especially sort of the original Dick Kerr Ladies. Everyone, I think a lot of people, a lot of women, they're aware of the achievements that they had. I know there was coverage of it by the BBC a while ago. So for them to have them as role models initially, and for us to sort of tell the tale, and for the girls to be a part of that and have that behind them, I think it's something myself and everyone involved with the club can be proud of. Yeah.
All right, brilliant. We're starting to work the ball out, all right? We're starting to find feet.
Really good. It's only going to put more money into women's football, so that's not a bad thing. As long as it filters down, I think sometimes I know the problem they have with grassroots football is the FA get a lot of money but don't necessarily filter it down. That's what some of my friends that are lads say anyway. And it's probably the same for the women. We still pay. Like we pay for training, we pay for matches, which is fine. Not a lot, to be fair, but obviously it could be reduced a lot more. So the more sort of companies invest and put sponsorship into it, I guess the more that we get, the more clubs will get money, and then it can make it cheaper for us as well.
The growing popularity of women's football is growing, which is enabling women to join teams like Preston, who have an historical background.
It's better run. There's a lot more teams. I think one of the things we have as well is in terms of players, because there's more girls playing but there are more teams, so sometimes the players can move around. I don't think it's as hard for you to find a local team for a woman anymore, for a girl even, but I think certainly like the pitches are a lot better. We get kits taken more seriously for Lancashire FA, they give us quite a bit of help when we need it. I just think the communication and contacts is much better than it used to be. Where I lived when I was younger, there was just all boys. There was no girls down my street. So I used to play football with the boys. That was the only thing I could do. I went onto the fields. And then one time I was on the front, and the neighbour, who was probably in her 20s then, said she worked at Preston North End, the ground, doing the turnstiles. And she said to me, why don't you go and join a team? So me and my friend from high school went and joined the team. Under 14s Preston, then under 16s. And then I went into the women's and kind of carried on from there. Really have not changed.
Pre-season at Preston North End Ladies can prove challenging, and here we learn what happens until the season commences.
Yeah, so the first couple of weeks of pre-season is trials really. So all the regular ones that were there for previous seasons will come down, but any new players that want to come down just to see the standard that they're at. So we have a couple of weeks of them. Then we do pre-season. So that basically up until, I think our season starts beginning of September. So up from like middle of June to September, it's pre-season. So we do fitness, ball control, sort of checking the new players that come in to work out what positions they want to be, try different multiple positions as well, something like that. And then we get pre-season games organised, so especially in August, every Sunday normally we'll have a game, just so that the manager can see not only where you might regularly play, but try different positions as well, and just to get everybody on the same page. There's nothing better than winning a game, to be honest. If you win a game and you play well and you score, you're absolutely buzzing. And also, I go home on a Wednesday after training or on a Sunday feeling like I've done, like my endorphins are, and I feel like I've done exercise. I'm quite happy. So I do think it's a benefit as well to do more exercise. And obviously, I think if I did exercise like going to the gym, I would notice that I'm running for 90 minutes. But when I'm playing football, I don't notice it the same. So for a sport, it's keeping yourself fit, but you don't really realise you're doing the fitness as much.
Preston North End Ladies were almost relegated last season. So what are the challenges they face, and what do they want to achieve come the end of next season?
Bringing in new players this season is probably a bit challenging. We want to keep that nice group dynamic. We want to keep that group cohesion. So bringing in, integrating them in when we've had the same squad for such a long time, that is probably our biggest challenge so far this year. We want to have as much of an understanding around how we play, mine and Sam's philosophies, the individual roles, how they work as different units. We really want to get as much understanding around that as possible. I know everyone says you've got to do fitness training, things like that. Just playing football builds fitness. We want to give as much technical and tactical ability to set us up in the best position before that season starts as we can.
Had injuries galore, we didn't have enough players. People obviously, like me, have to work. We have full-time jobs, so it's fitting it all in. So this year it would be to get a consistent run, to get a lot of players down, to give everybody a go, because we have roll and roll off in our league, and start to move the club forward. It's been static for a couple of years, but to move it forward, and we're going to get a bit of help from the Preston North End men's team as well. So that's hopefully going to move us forward as well. So more wins.
But now, we're here at the Elite Boxing Gym in Bolton to speak to a soon-to-go pro boxer, Lindsay.